And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama, and she won't do it. And she's the boss, so much. She won't do it. So you run into daddy, daddy says do it, and then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right.
Oh, my God. So that happened, and there's much, much more that we will get to. Bartholomew, I was watching your facial expressions. What?
That's not his line. What does he mean the agent wants to get involved? That's his job. That's literally what his job is.
No, to be clear, the agent wants to stick his nose in it.
Right.
Like he's getting nosy about doing his job. It's absurd.
I don't understand it. That's just like Micah Parsons going to negotiate with Sharpe. like you wouldn't accept it. Like that's the protocol. Like I don't understand why he would think he can circumvent and go around the actual agent and talk to the player. And he thinks I'm going to send you, like I'm going to inform you what me and the player talked about. That's not how things work.
There is a history of this, though, in Dallas, right, Dan? You and I have talked about it. To be very clear, Dan and all of our reporters have been telling us for weeks, Jerry believes that he and Micah Parsons made a deal. You just heard it directly from him. And it sounds like it was a negotiation. It wasn't just, how about this? Okay, I'll take it. It sounds like they went back and forth. Jerry's saying he moved off his mark. So by excluding the agent from it, which he essentially has done here, is that violating anything? Like, is there a rule against that?
There's not. It's obviously bad form. But it's the Cowboys, and this is how they operate. When you talk to people around this situation, agents and people who've negotiated deals with the Cowboys, they'll say this is part of their process. You know, Dak Prescott had to have dinner with Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones in training camp and talk contract. You know, Tony Romo, Jason Witten, all these guys. The difference is they didn't go in there and talk numbers, right? So Dak Prescott had his dinners with these guys, and oh yeah, we want to be. Anytime the conversations turn to numbers, it's you got to call my agent. I'm not going to do the numbers with you. My agent is. Apparently, what happened in this case is Micah didn't say that. He said some numbers, and they felt like they went back and forth. Jerry said, I already moved off my mark. So he felt like they were in a negotiation.
Right.
Now, that's either naive or it's, revisionist history, but this is the point he's decided to stand on here, and he believes he made a strong offer and that Micah should either take it or play out his current contract and get franchised next year. And that's where it stands. It's not like the Dak situation where this time last year they were still negotiating and Dak was practicing. It's a very, very different situation.
I mean, it feels like Jerry Jones is Rumpelstiltskin here, and he's trying to do a deal. And, like, the reality is the agent should be the one dealing between the mother and Rumpelstiltskin and giving away her firstborn, because that's what happens when you don't have an agent. You end up accidentally doing something that you shouldn't do because they're professionals for a reason. Agents are agents for a reason.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's not anything in the CBA that says that this can't happen, but it's common sense for everyone else in the league except Jerry Jones. So maybe this is the thing that gets something formally put down in the next CBA negotiation. Maybe that is a perfect world. I'm oversimplifying it, but it just seems like until you put down specific guardrails to keep Jerry from doing it.
You can't make a rule against everything. There are some things that are just understood to be common practice, and that, like you cannot make a rule to prohibit every action. I think that I understand where Jerry's coming from, but to your point, they hadn't talked about numbers. In this situation, if the deal is not signed and someone says, I hired a professional to do this for me, it seems absurd to then say, oh no, I refuse to speak to the professional that you hired. That to me seems like unfair and selfish.
Okay, so let me make sure there's two things that we should clarify. One of them is you heard what Jerry said, the agent said. Ryan Clark, who is also represented by David Mulligetta, reached out to him, and the agent, David Mulligetta, says he never used that language. I don't think Jerry was trying to be quoting him specifically. It was sort of a generally told us to stick.
Yeah, the money quote, obviously, earlier, but then he also says later, he told us don't bother. So it's two different ways of saying the same thing. So what he's saying is, we had a deal. I sent it over to the agent, say, look this over, make sure everything's cool, because Micah and I negotiated this. And the agent said, Micah doesn't negotiate his deals. I do. Right? So let's actually have a conversation about this.
To be clear, he didn't use the word stick it up your whatever.
Well, he may have, but who knows?
Well, we don't think he did. David Mulligetta told RC he said that.
Yes, exactly.
And that isn't really the most important part of this, but it's the most entertaining.
Most fun, yes.
Then there is the response from Micah Parsons. Micah has responded to this in the way people respond in this day and age. First, he cited a passage from the Bible in the book of Micah, in which he posted, "Even if I fall, I will rise. The Lord is my light."
That is better than third person.
And then he scrubbed any mention of the Dallas Cowboys from his social media. If you look at how he describes himself, Penn State 2021, and then TBD, to be determined. Now,
passive aggressive.
Whenever we have biblical issues, we always turn immediately to Brooke, who can give us the meaning of the passage.
In fact, yes, my dad entered the ministry just for this moment right now so that I could text him at 7 in the morning and say, what does the book of Micah mean? And I asked him about that verse, and he said that Micah is talking about strength through faith in God. Don't think he knew much about football, so that's Bible study with the Pryors. But
touchdown Jesus.
That is exactly right. Look, this is just a play straight out of how it goes with this. Right? I'm kind of surprised he hadn't
just the fact that Jerry Jones is saying, the agent told me to stick it you-know-where, and Micah is quoting from the book of Micah. You just can't ask for any more than we have here. But where does it leave us? Dominique, this is my point.
Yeah.
We are 13 days away. This is all fun and games. And again, if Jerry wants to program the A block of get up every single day, I'm just fine with that. Take that problem off our hands. But they have a whole other problem, which is that 2 weeks from yesterday, they're playing the defending champs in their building on national TV for the whole world to watch. There's no, seen what we've just seen, there's no chance in the world Micah Parsons plays in that game.
So I think every person and every business kind of has a priority stack.